What's up, boopers? This is going to be just a short enchanting guide as it was requested by one of my subscribers. So if you already know all about enchanting, you can skip over this one. I'll have a video up soon going over the hundreds of changes that should be coming with the 3v3 patch. But for now, this one will just be explaining how enchanting works with masterworking and rerolling stats. So let's get started! Boop! Now, excluding rings, earrings, and necklaces, there are three types of items. Normal, enigmatic, and masterworkable enigmatic. A normal weapon looks like this. It cannot be enchanted and usually has stats set in stone. Basically, what you see is what you get. An enigmatic item looks like this. It'll usually start off being locked until you use an ID scroll. First, you can buy an ID scroll off of any general vendor and use it to reveal the stats that an enigmatic item has. Once revealed, you'll notice the stats start off grayed out with +3, +6, and +9 beside them, and sometimes other numbers depending on the type of item it is. What this means is that this item will give you that stat once you've enchanted it to the corresponding level. So if you get a lance enchanted to +3, you'll earn the +3 stat. On top of the extra stats, enchanting the item also boosts the base stat. You may notice that some non-enigmatic pieces have better base stats than the enigmatic ones. This is because enigmatic pieces tend to not get better than the non-enigmatic pieces until they reach around +5 or +6, depending on the tier. Now, what if you don't like the stats the item gives you at +3? Well, you can re-roll the stats on an enigmatic item in most cases. This is not limited to just the plus stats either. Most enigmatic pieces have a base stat that can be rolled as well. To check if a stat can be re-rolled on an enigmatic item, look closely beside the stat for this little icon. If this is there, that means the stat can be changed. To change the stat on an enigmatic item, you first must buy the intricate enigmatic item from the general store, then another ID scroll. Use the intricate to turn the item back into a question mark, then ID it again just like before, and voila! You should have an all new set of stats on the item. There's also another way to obtain the stats you want on an item, but that involves Spellbind. Spellbind is an item you can buy from the specialty shop currently. To lock a stat in when you re-roll the others, you'll be required to have Spellbind in an amount equivalent of the item's tier. So if you want to re-roll the stats on a tier 7, all save for one stat, you'll need 7 Spellbind to lock that stat in place while you re-roll the other stats. If you want to re-roll it but keep 2 stats, you'll need 14 Spellbind to lock in both of those stats, so on and so forth. Now let's move on to Masterwork enigmatic items. Now, enigmatic items will in some cases have text at the bottom of the item that says, "This item cannot be masterworked." If it has this is a pretty cut and dry explanation that it can't be masterworked. But if this text isn't there, then that means the enigmatic item can be masterworked. Masterworking can occur with a very small chance anytime you ID an item with normal scrolls, but it's extremely unlikely. What masterworking does is give your item a gold badge, allowing it to go to +12 instead of only +9, and gives it a boost on its base stats as well as all the extra stats it gets. The normal way to masterwork an item is to use blue masterwork enigmatic scrolls. Basically, instead of using the general vendor bot scroll to turn the item back into a question mark, use a blue quality more expensive masterwork enigmatic scroll to hide its stats. Then, you'll need to buy a green quality identification scroll from the general vendor to unlock its stats. If you are lucky, you'll unlock it into a masterwork. This can take anywhere from 1 to 1,000 tries, but most people get it before their 30th try or so, unless you're really unlucky. And lastly, enchanting. To enchant an item, you need dust, a sacrifice item, and your enigmatic item you want enchanted. Simply press T or open the enchanting manually through your interface. Then, place the item you want to enchant in the middle. Then, on the left, place an item from the same tier as the item you want to enchant from the same slot. Basically, if you want to enchant a tier 12 weapon, you need to sacrifice a tier 12 weapon. It can be a lance, sword, any weapon you want really. The type of weapon doesn't matter, it just has to be a tier 12 weapon. The same goes for armor. Leather, metal, or cloth can all be used when enchanting as long as it's the same slot and tier. So boots for boots, gloves for gloves, chest for chest. You can sacrifice a leather chest to enchant a metal chest. It doesn't matter what type it is as long as it's a chest. To get the enchanting dust, just go to the general vendor and buy some alkahest for 1 to 6. Plus 1 to plus 6 uses the white alkahest off the general vendor. Once you hit plus 6 though, you'll need to switch to using green dust. This can be bought off of specialty vendors and is rather pricey like Spellbind, so I recommend not going past plus 6 or using Spellbinds until you're level 60. Using the green dust will allow you to get to plus 7, plus 8, and plus 9. Then, if you got lucky with masterworking an item, you'll need to use the even more expensive pink dust for plus 10, plus 11, and plus 12. Also note that the quality of the item you're sacrificing will affect the chance of success. Failing sucks, but luckily the item can no longer lose a plus like before. You only lose gold and time invested into the dust and the sacrifice item, and once you get above plus 7 or 8, I recommend only attempting to enchant by sacrificing gold quality items. This minimizes the risk of losing your money you spent on the dust. Now the last thing I'm going to cover are some upcoming changes being made to enchanting. First is the fail bonus. Anytime you fail enchanting a particular item, your chance to not fail will go up. This bonus only applies to the specific item you failed on, but basically the more times you fail to enchant something, the better chance you have to succeed, thus stopping people from endlessly failing enchanting and wanting to jump off a bridge. The last change is that Spellbind and Master Enchanting Dust are going to become a bit harder to obtain, or easier depending on how you look at it. They're being added to the cash shop and taken out of the specialty vendors when the game goes free to play. So if you want them, I suggest you stock up now, because after the free to play patch is live, you'll only be able to buy them off the cash shop or have them drop in max level dungeons, get them in the BG reward boxes from losing or winning 3 games, or the boxes you get from completing random dungeons with random groups, or locked strong boxes that drop off of BAM sometimes or rarely normal mobs, which require keys whom you need to buy from the cash shop as well. Or lastly, some in-game events that are supposed to be happening. So yeah, stock up now while you can if you plan to ever get plus 12 or you want to use Spellbind. Anyway, that's it. I'll be adding another video soon to cover all the new changes coming with the free-to-play patch. So look forward to that. I hope this helped you learn enchanting. If you have any more questions I didn't cover it so well, just leave a comment and I'll try to get to it as quickly as possible. Oh, I should make sure you guys know that you cannot enchant non-enigmatic items. So don't try to enchant normal items and then come to me and say, hey, enchanting's not working, you're stupid hacker. But yeah, that's it. See you guys later.